Right, Rock Addicts. This is DJ REM, and I have Jeff from the band Psychosomatic on the line. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. How's it going?
It's going very well. I have to start off by telling you that you guys, the moment Clawhammer sent me your stuff, I was like totally in love with your guys' sound. Very cool.
Awesome. Thank you.
He actually sent me 2 of your CDs, and I've been listening to your Another Disease. Is that the title?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been listening to that in my car for like the last 3 weeks straight.
Awesome. Yeah, it's our last one. It was in 2010, and we're currently writing a new one right now.
Very cool. So, can you go ahead and start and introduce yourself and the other members of the band, please, and what their spots are?
Well, I'm Jeff, and I play bass guitar and vocals, and then we have Toby. He plays drums, and we have Vince and Dan both do lead guitar and vocals on certain songs as well. We had a lineup change last year, so the guitar player that's on those 2 albums is no longer with the band. So we have these 2 new guitar players that are superior in every way.
Yeah, when I listen, it's just like a shred fest, non-stop. It's crazy.
Yeah, we try to play as intense and tight as possible, and really what we are is just a bunch of music fans that took elements of all of our favorite bands and just kind of put them in a blender and kind of see what came out.
Very cool. The one thing, there's, the album has like, 18 tracks on it, and it just goes from one track to the next, and the speed doesn't stop. I mean, when you guys do a live show, you guys must just be like totally worn out and dead at the end of the show.
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, that's what we live for. The 30 to 45 minutes on stage is where we expend all of our energy and reserves because, usually on tour the rest of the energy you have is staying awake driving.
Right, so, right.
Pretty much what the outcome is.
So how long has Psychosomatic been around?
Well, that's an interesting question. We've actually been around since 1988. I started the band a long time ago. And, several different lineup changes and albums, but we really didn't get serious until it was about, 2002 when we acquired Toby on drums, and then it actually took off, because before that it was fun, and we were good, but we were more or less like a local party band, and we really didn't take it too seriously. And then about 2000, when Toby jumped on 2002, we just started getting really serious about it, and a different attitude came on, and everybody was telling us the whole time, wow, you guys should be doing this all the time, so we took it a little more serious, and now it's taken off finally.
Very cool. So what do you guys have lined up right now? You got live shows and stuff lined up?
Well, we just got done with our 3rd tour of the year. We did 2 U.S.'s and we did a West Coast with Hammer Fight from New Jersey, and they were really fun guys. That was the best time I ever had on tour. And so we're currently booking our next U.S., which will be April, and then hopefully we're trying to get to Europe by next year and overseas. But also we're doing a little mini album, which is all cover songs, like our, like Slayer's Undisputed Attitude. It's kind of like that. But they're more obscure bands. They're more like mid-'80s crossover bands, where our real influences are like Septic Death and The Accused and Gangrene and that kind of stuff.
Very cool.
And we're trying to get it out on vinyl because the last tour we did, we really got hit. Everybody was just hitting us up for vinyl, and it's something we never did before. We always just did CDs or online downloads, so we said, why not? So we want to make it special, and it'll be on some colored weird vinyl, and it'll be numbered, and then also it'll be available for download for people without record players. And in the meantime, we're writing our new album, which we're really excited about because it's a little bit faster than Another Disease. It's really kind of it just goes. We're not writing. On Another Disease, there's a couple slow songs. We don't do any of that on the new one. It's going to be all fast.
Nice.
And then we're just kind of giving way to what people want. And I think that in this day and age, and the way things are the way things are generally with everybody, everything's just kind of going south with everybody's lives. We kind of emulate that in our music, and we're just going to be as aggressive and fast and intense
Very cool. Do you have kind of like a tentative timeline?
Well, the cover album should be out by January, and the new album we're hoping to get on a label. So Clawhammer has been pushing the last two albums to a certain couple labels, and we've already gotten some responses without even putting out major submissions yet, so we're really excited. So when all that stuff gives way, that'll be out. I can't really give an exact date, but we're hoping at least by spring or summer next year.
That's very cool, and I wish you guys the best of luck. And I want to just thank Clawhammer real quick for hooking me up with you guys. Clawhammer, those guys are awesome. They do a great job, so props to them.
Absolutely, those guys have been great.
Okay, so how often do you guys get together as a band and practice?
Usually about 2 to 3 times a week, if schedules permit, usually.
You guys all live pretty close to each other? I mean, is it pretty easy to practice for you guys?
Well, yeah, we're in Sacramento, or at least Sacramento, close by. Like, our guitar player lives in Auburn, which is about 30 minutes away, and then one of the other guitar players lives about a half hour away, and the drummer lives right down the street from me, so it's pretty easy. We all practice at my house. The drummer and Vince built like an actual rehearsal studio. It's all soundproof. It's got resilient channel and all this soundproofing stuff, so it's really good. I mean, I spent a lot of money, and it sounds awesome. You can barely hear it from the sidewalk at all.
No, that's good. Don't need anybody complaining and calling the cops.
Right, and well, that frees us up to practice anytime we want.
Right.
And we can turn up all the way. We don't have to shut it down or be, And I live in a pretty normal neighborhood. It's not too ghetto and it's not too nice, so it's just even perfect.
So what got you into music way back when this all started? What kind of influences did you have that made you want to do this?
As a kid, I got into the heavy metal and Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, whatever, and that was all fun. And I was just a fan of music, And then I got into the more aggressive music. I always wanted to keep getting more aggressive, so I listened to Slayer and DRI and got more of the punk and the thrash metal back in the 80s when it came out. But I used to live in a town called Salinas, California. It's about 3 hours south of Sacramento. It's a really small town, and there's just nothing there, so we had to drive. Me and my friends we'd rent a van and just drive all the way up to the Bay Area, and we went and saw a show. It was a concert, and it was Thrasher Magazine's Skate Rock. And what it was I think the lineup was Septic Death, The Accused, Christ on Parade, Beyond Possession, Drunk Engines, and it was a total mixture of just hardcore metal, thrash, punk, all whipped in together in one big concert. And even James Hetfield from Metallica came out and introduced Septic Death, which is, I don't know if you know who they are, but it's
Yep, definitely.
It's Pushead's band, and he came out, and when he came out, he had this weird contraption. He had all this mask on with his eyeball cut out and Freddy Krueger claws. And at that time I was 16. It was the coolest thing I ever saw. And all the bands on the bill were all headlining bands, but you had Christ on Parade opening, and The Accused went on second. I mean, they're all really good bands, and it just blew my mind. And I said, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. It hit me so hard. I was so excited, and we kind of just emulate that entire thing, and we've never stopped. I mean, that's all I've ever wanted to do, and I still do it, and I don't know how to do anything else, so it's totally focalized inside of the band, all of it.
Very nice, and I think it's awesome that you remember every single band on that bill that night, and how much of it obviously an impression it made on you. That's cool.
Yeah, I try to remember everything. I have a really good memory. I stretch my memory on everything. I pretty much almost can remember every show we've ever played, and sometimes I can't remember at that time, but if I look at a list of flyers we have throughout the ages, I can remember pretty much everything. And I try to remember every person I meet. It's really hard sometimes on the road, but I'll never forget a face. And so, I like to acknowledge everybody that's interested in us, because I'm very grateful for it. And then the guys in the band are as well. Very
good. So, how did you guys, speaking of the band, how did you guys come up with the name Psychosomatic? Where'd that come from?
It's funny. I had a piece of binder paper with about 200 bands was like every other kid. I had a little science book, and I was looking through diseases and all this stuff, and nothing struck me at all. And then I'm a real big comic fan. I was back then, and I was going through this comic book called Twisted Tales, and it had a word in one of the segments, and it just said in bold that this little child was seeing monsters, and the doctor said, well, it's just psychosomatic. So I looked up the word, and pretty much they were just saying it was his imagination that was causing him. In actuality, in the cartoon, there was a monster and it ate him. It was really cool, and I was like, wow, that's an awesome name. And we looked it up, and we did like a poor man's copyright, and what that is we actually mailed it to ourselves. So we said, hey, we have the name, and it's ours, and we have an actual, like, official stamp that says it's ours, and that's not true. It doesn't work, but eventually we ran into a problem throughout the years later where there was other bands called Psychosomatic, and we didn't really notice it until the online took over,
right?
And Facebook. So then we noticed, like, wow, there's all these other bands called Psychosomatic. So Toby came up with the idea and did the paperwork and got us federally trademarked. So we owned the name.
Nice.
Then I was like, well, I don't want to contact all these bands without being kind of, sounding rude or whatever. So we just hit up Facebook and MySpace, and they took them down. It was really convenient for us. We didn't have to actually confront anybody.
Right. Very good.
Pretty much. We had a small little incident with somebody that got really testy, and so our lawyer took care of that, and it was no big deal.
So, where can people find out more about you guys? Where are good places for people to go to look?
We can go to www.officialpsychosomatic.com. That's our website. We're trying to get everything focalized there, but lately everybody's just been about Facebook. So if you want to look us up on Facebook, it's obviously Facebook.com/officialpsychosomatic. You can find us there. And if you just look at Psychosomatic, we should be like the first thing on there, if not the first band on there, or only band. But it moves. It used to be MySpace, and now it's Facebook, and I don't know what's going to be next, but you can get us pretty much access everything there. You can hit up Reverb Nation. We have pretty much all the links that you need. I mean, we haven't really gone on some Bandcamp or stuff, and that's just a matter of time, which we will get on it. So
right.
If you look up Clawhammer too, they can direct you to where we have free streaming, stuff like that.
Right. And where's the best place then to buy the album and stuff, like Amazon or online down iTunes, stuff like that?
Yeah, we're on all 4 albums we have are on iTunes and Amazon.com. You can even download us on MySpace as well. And actually, the 2 albums that you have are the 2 albums we have with Toby. The other 2 albums are previous. They're more thrashy kind of punk, but it's still fast. It's still
right.
Fast. But yeah, the later 2 albums are the ones we promote because they're just better, especially because Toby's on them. Yeah,
I've another disease. I haven't even opened the other CD yet. I've been so stuck on that album. I need to open the other one and start listening to it.
That one's actually a little bit more, I would say it's got a little bit more of a punky thrash feel, but it's got a lot of grindcore elements in it as well.
Okay, cool.
We try to cover all these bases with those last 2 albums. We were all over the place. We were trying to just get our sound the way we wanted. And now, on the new album that we come out, it's going to be just us, 100% us, and our own sound and what we want to do.
Okay, and then what recording studio did you use in the past, and do you plan to use them again, or do you have other plans?
I don't see us going anywhere else but that place. That was recorded by Joe Johnston at Plus Cavern in Sacramento, and it's just a beautiful relationship between us. This guy, he is just the man, and he's actually done a platinum album with a band called Cake.
Uh-huh.
And I think did a couple platinum albums with them, and then he's just the man. He's really, really good. He can do anything, but he's very open. He's not when I tell him what I want, we'll discuss it for a while, he'll nail it, and then he'll just emulate it. He's really solid.
Nice. And then along the same lines with the album Another Disease, who designed the artwork for that album cover? Because it's really cool.
Oh, thanks. I do all the artwork that we do, and I've been doing it forever.
Nice.
So anything you see with any kind of artwork, I've been drawing it. And I actually wanted to do a lot of graphics and have other people come in, and the guys in the band insisted, no, you do it. So I was like, because I'd like to be lazy, but they were not letting me be lazy. And we actually have skateboards and stuff. If you look online, you'll see them. They're pretty much on all of our sites. And I did those designs as well.
Yeah, you know what? I did see those, and I was like, I actually was wondering about that. So very cool. Well, not only, I'm a fan of music, but I'm also a fan of art. And when bands put the time and effort into that cover, especially when people buy a physical CD, that kind of just all ties everything together, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely, and that's kind of the reason why we've been pressured by a lot of fans to do vinyl, because they want that material product in their hand and something they can look at.
Yeah, vinyls, it's amazing how much of a huge comeback it's making these days. It's crazy.
It's a huge comeback. I'm blown away by just even the shows we play, a lot of the bands only have vinyl, so I'm like, well, time to buy a record player.
Right.
So I'm kind of excited about it too, and as far as an art form, an art medium, I mean, yeah, you could put a lot more on an album cover than you can a digital download.
Right, yeah, just a little bit. Okay, so if I grabbed your iPod or your MP3 player, however you like to listen to music, what bands would I find you listening to right now?
Oh, well, the last thing I've been kind of stuck on was Ludacris. I mean, I don't think they're around anymore, but they're a black metal band from Oakland, Bay Area. And who we just played with at New Jersey Death Fest, and they're awesome. They're totally great. And I just went and saw Napalm Death and Municipal Waste, that tour, and so naturally I've been listening to them a lot, and they're just excellent bands. Two genres colliding together. It's the best show I've ever seen in a long time.
Well, I'm gonna do a shameless plug for another band that you should listen to or you should check out. I don't know if you've heard Generation Kill.
No, not yet.
Rob Dukes from Exodus is a lead singer.
Oh, I have heard them. They're awesome. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, yeah, now I got a name. Face, yeah.
Yeah, Rob Machete's in that band from Propane and MOD. So, yeah, check them out. Sounds like you have, but yeah, they rock.
Absolutely. And of course, if you anything affiliated with Exodus, we're huge fans of Gary Holt and company. Those
right.
Great, and they're really nice guys too.
Very cool. So what do you guys do to relax when you're not practicing and doing shows and stuff? What do you guys do to kind of unwind?
We all do different things. I know Vince is out in the woods, and I always make fun of them because all three of those guys love nature. They love to go out, and they go hiking, and Vince will go down to a river because he's in Auburn. It's a really beautiful area. It's all woodland and stuff like that. And Dan, they all go to rivers and lakes, and they go hiking. They're really outdoorsy kind of people, and I am not in any way. I don't even go outside in the daylight. I just can't stand it. But that's them. I just troll around the internet and stay inside because I just and if I do go out, I usually go to a bar or a show. But that's pretty much what I do. But those guys are really into nature, and they go out and do all kinds of adventurous stuff like that.
Well, that's cool. I mean, everybody to each their own. Everybody has their own thing. So.
Absolutely, and I just knock them for it because what they're doing is pretty healthy and exciting, and I'm just kind of like the bitter old man of the band. I'm like, get off my lawn.
Oh man. Okay, so what would you say sets you guys apart from the other 10,000 bands out there trying to do something? Why should people come to your shows, and why should people buy your music?
Well, we work really hard at it. It's kind of what we do and what we want to be known for. The majority of us had day jobs, and we're pretty much over them. And all we want to do is just music, whatever way we can, especially with this band. And it's really fun and exciting. And we want to be as accessible as possible, not just musically, but when people come to our shows, we want to guarantee they're going to have a good time. I don't care if there's 5 people or 500 people at our show, we give the same performance every time, from start to finish. And we give everything. Like you said, we expend all of our energy on stage. Yes, we
Very good. So, speaking of live shows, what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you at a live show that you're willing to share?
At a live, wow, that's kind of a big question. I have to like stretch my memory. Well, you know, as far as the best show I've ever had was definitely, I would say, when we opened up for Exodus, Hyrax, Attitude Adjustment, and Havoc. They played with us. It was at the Tidal Wave in 2008 in San Francisco, and it was outdoors. It was a free show. The show was so awesome. The best show I've ever played. It was just massive. The first time I actually got to hear like a roar. As far as crazy stuff, I've seen everything you can imagine as far as crazy people diving off PA stacks, people fighting. Actually, we recently played in St. Louis, and there was a fight between the sound guy and some guys in the crowd just moshing, and they were just arguing, throwing punches, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But, you know, when you're playing aggressive music, stuff happens almost at every show. You know, and that's the majority of the thing is fights. We really want people to get along and have a good time. Fights suck, no matter what. It's kind of like if you're gonna be in the slam pit, you kind of gotta expect to just be rowdy and don't get mad.
Right.
People aren't trying to be mean, but it happens all the time at every show. Somebody gets pissed off. Well, then don't stand by the pit. You know, I think Billy Milano from MOD summed it up by saying, "Just don't feed the bears." You know that song? It's like, don't go in there, best beware, don't feed the bears.
Right. Yep.
And that's pretty much it.
Okay, that's cool, man. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it.
For sure.
So, I don't even know if this question is going to apply to you guys, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Who spends the most time in front of a mirror getting ready for a show?
That would be Dan. And the reason why I say that is because he's the youngest guy in the band, and he gets hazed the most.
That's awesome.
But yeah, he's great.
All right. Anything else you would like to tell the world, the people that are going to listen to this interview, anything that I haven't asked you want to make sure people know about Psychosomatic?
That we will be out on another U.S. tour in April, and we hope to tour pretty much the rest of our lives, including especially most of next year. So be waiting for us. We should visit your town soon.
Hey, very cool, and I look forward to the album next year at some point when that happens, and I'll be keeping my eye out so I can pick that up.
Awesome, thanks a lot.
Okay, the last thing I'd like to do is get a couple of radio tags from you if you don't mind.
For sure.
So the first one, you can just say your name, say it from Psychosomatic, and that you're listening to rockaddictradio.com.
Okay, hang on. I have to write it down because I want to say it right.
No problem. I had a band yesterday. It took them about 4 times to get it right. So.
Okay, cool. So I don't feel so bad. It'll probably take me 10.
No, one of these days when I have extra time, which is probably never, I could go through every interview I've done, and almost every single interview. There's been, we'll call them bloopers on these things, and I could put together like a 2-hour show probably.
Awesome. Okay, did I say it right now?
Yep, go ahead.
What did I say again?
So, say your name and that you're from Psychosomatic and that you're listening to rockaddictradio.com.
Okay. You stop smiling first. Okay. This is Jeff Salgado from Psychosomatic, and you're listening to rockaddictradio.com.
Okay, that was perfect. And then the second one, exact same thing, but just throw in there that you're listening to DJ REM at Rock Addict Radio.
This is Jeff Salgado from Psychosomatic, and you're listening to DJ REM at rockaddictradio.com.
Perfect, man. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah. So the first one you made for the station, I will send that to the other DJs because then they can throw it in and play it before they play your tunes. So.
Awesome.
And then obviously for my show, I'll use the personalized one. I always have to have the personalized one,
Cool. And can I get a link to this interview, or is it just...
As soon as I have it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload it to YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, and where I put all my interviews, and I will send you the link that will be directly to this interview, and then you can just, spread it like wildfire.
Killer, man. Thanks.
Yep, thank you. Definitely.
Okay, for sure.
Okay, so like I said, this, if you, I'll post on your band page. I'll post the link just to my YouTube channel in itself, so you can kind of keep an eye on it as well.
Totally.
I'm pretty excited. I just went over 5,000 views on there, so I'm pretty stoked.
Nice. Over 5,000 views of your page.
Yeah, for my interviews I've done.
Beautiful.
So it's getting there slowly, but it's getting there.
Cool. Hey, there's a lot of people out there. You gotta start somewhere.
Yep. I just added you on Facebook too, by the way.
Awesome. Cool.
Okay, man. Well, thanks again for taking the time to talk to me. I appreciate it, and best of luck with the tour and the new album that you're going to work on and all that stuff. So make sure you tell everybody in the band I said hello, please.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care, man.
You too. Bye.
Bye.